What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we are learning how to drift Formula Drift Long Beach. And of course the traditional FD section, as you may know, there's going to be a second round at Long Beach this year, which is cool and I'm very excited for that. But this is the round one section at Long Beach. And today we're going to be talking about all things having to do with it. We're going to talk about solo runs, tandem runs, and I'm even going to show you how to tune for this track, which I'm actually going to show you first right now. But before we get into it, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what track you want to learn how to drift next, and let's get right into it. I wasn't lying. Let's get straight into how to tune this vehicle. So when it comes to Long Beach, my philosophy for tuning is different from other tracks. I want to have a lot of side bite or side grip, not really pushing the car forward in that sense. I don't want it to be a can full of worms. I want the car to be very controlled, very predictable, and I don't want to go super fast. My goal here isn't speed. So we are in the VDC MK3 Supra from the VDC 4.0 pack, a very different car, but I thought I'd drive this car today as not many people drive it. So first things first, my running gear is fourth gear at 124 miles per hour. Around the hairpin, which we'll see shortly. If you don't know what the hairpin is, I do shift down into third just to get the wheels going to push me through there. This car doesn't have a ton of torque, so that's another thing. This is my PSIs. I want a little more front grip than usual, so I make sure it's at the optimal pressure, which is 31 PSI, and then 21 in the rear. When it comes to the fuel, 10 liters, that's pretty standard. Turbo, 100%, might as well be full kill. Now when it comes to camber, the front of this car doesn't have a ton of casters, so we don't need a ton of negative camber in the front. It only has 3 caster, which is the lowest you could go in VDC 4.0, 5.0, whatever it may be. And so I run negative 6.4 degrees when my steering wheel is turned all the way before lock at 9 and 3. Before it hits lock here, that's where I like my leading tire to be zeroed out at 0 degrees. Front toe, I have 9 on the sliders, or about negative 0.15 in the car status. Just a little bit of toe to help rotate the car and stay on angle. And then when it comes to rear toe, I want to have 0 rear toe at this track. Little different than most tracks. You do want to have some toe at most tracks, but at Long Beach, since this is, a street course, it's quite narrow. I honestly don't need a lot of speed. I need more side bite, a lot more predictable, getting out to the walls. Nothing too crazy. So I've always ran 0 degrees of toe ever since I started competing here on Assetto Corsa. Next, camber, I want to be at 0.61. Now, in the MK3 Supra, this car has a lot of compression, so it doesn't have anti-squat. Now the difference between those two, anti-squat in a car, think about it, when you get on throttle, the rear end lifts up. In this car, the rear end goes down, so it has compression under load. So that means when I get on the throttle, the rear end's gonna dip down a lot. So you want to have positive camber in the rear to counteract that. So when it comes down, guess what happens? The wheels become, that's right, zeroed out. So 0.6 is what I found to be the best, and we'll see why with the dampers as well as the suspension here soon. So my front dampers, nothing too crazy, 12, 10, 11, 7. It's pretty close to stock. The front end feels pretty good from the get-go, which is great. Then the rear dampers, we'll get into this real quick. So my bump and my fast bump I have at 8. So here's how bump works in this game, and honestly in real life. The less bump you have, the more compression you'll have in your spring. The less bump equals the more forward drive, because the car either comes up more and it compresses more, or dips down more, right? Here, from the mechanical grip of this car, the MK3 Supra honestly doesn't make a ton, especially with the 4.0 pack. So 8 is where I'm at, right? The max I'd put here is about 12. And the lowest I put is 1, but I'm gonna stick it at 8. So not a ton of side and not a ton of forward, just right in the middle. Fast bump, put it at 8. That's how it reacts to the oscillation of the spring. So 8 is where I put that. Rebound, that is also having to do with the compression and how the spring moves. I have that at 21. In these 4.0 cars, I put it anywhere between 18 and 30. That's the happy place. Anything lower, it just gets out of control. So 21, still a little bit of, dip, mechanical grip. and then fast rebound at 6. Diff, lock it out, so 100, 100, 0. Brake bias, it's honestly up to personal preference. This is an old setting, so 69, 70 is what I used to run. Then my front bar, I have it at 11. My front wheel rate is at 80. My front ride height is at 104. And with this setup and this ride height, when I turn the wheel to where I want it to be at rotation, which is 9 and 3, just before lock, and then the rear end, because this is not a anti-squat car on the 4.0 pack, dump the springs, make it level to where it's not super high and super low. 88 is that happy place, you know, just to have that compression. When I get under compression, my rear camber does zero out, which is important. Honestly, bar is up to personal preference. I know some people who max out the front bar and have 0 in the rear. I know some people who do what I do and have more in the rear than in the front. It's really up to you. This is what I like. So that's the tuning aspect. Let's get into the solo run and how to drive this track. So now that we understand the tune, let's give this old car a whirl. Let's drive through the track and then give it an actual run. We'll talk about it. As you can see down below, we have the Boundless Racing wheel cam, brought to you in part by boundlessracing.com, which is in fact my own company. We sell all the sim parts you could ever need, parts, bundles, turnkeys if you'd like, whatever you want. Be sure to check it out in the description down below. So now we're at the start line. I'm just gonna drive through the course to kind of give you an understanding of what is in store, right? We have the initiation point. Let me back her up. See these two white pillars, white and red pillars, I guess, on the left-hand side? This is your initiation point. This, at the end of the wall, is the latest you should be at angle coming into the corner when you are initiating. From here, you want to go wide. Use this 100 marker as a reference point. You want to start pushing off of here when it comes to that. Now we have the first corner. Just as a little preface, every corner here at Long Beach, you want it to be like you're dancing with your lover. You want it to be, you're going out wide, and you're going this way, and you're going that way, right? So you're listening to some Marvin Gaye right now. I don't fucking know. Anyway, you want the corners to be wide. That's where I'm coming from. Here, you do not want to touch the rumble strips with your front tire. That is a 0, as we saw last weekend. Yeah, this video is a week late. Oopsie daisies. Anyway, so we come out to the Toyota sign, the Toyotathon sign, and the Formula Drift sign. This is going to be your clip 1. You want your bumper as close to this outside wall as physically possible. Once you get through here, you want to push off of this corner and transition, I'd say, about this point, so track left to mid-track, and flick, and then be at angle before you get under the Firestone bridge. And this Firestone sticker, you want to be, again, at angle coming through here. Let me back this up again. As we can see by this marker right here, this, again, a red and yellow pillar, this is your next clip. This is going to be clip number 2, numero dos. Here you want to hit it and then push off. You don't want to stay too wide, and you also don't want to go inside. Your front wheels should definitely not be touching these rumble strips on the left-hand side. If they are, you are in deep shit, my friend, as they say. So you want to keep it pretty out wide, right? You don't want to be where the Verizon sign is. You want to be pretty much mid-track. And here you'll have a beautiful arc if you keep it at the same angle. You're not at 90, you're at like 55 to 60. You can just keep it floored, a little bit of throttle input, a little bit of left foot brake, and it'll get you right here to this next pillar. And this is going to be your outside zone 3. Here, it's called the judge's wall. It's the most important wall. It's the biggest zone. Here, you want to glide your bumper along the wall. I'll back it up once again. As you see here by the tire marks on the ground, you want to be outside gliding your bumper along this wall. Here, it's really easy to slam into it. It's really easy to slow down too much. You just want to keep momentum going. If you're on that right trajectory, you're not having too much angle, you can just keep going. Your mile per hour should be about 56 to 60 miles an hour through here. And through here, when you get to this WeatherTech sign, I like to downshift to 3rd. And then I like to stay track left and transition right after this black sign on my left into the touch and go. And then get on throttle as soon as possible, loop around through this clipping point. You don't want to throw the acres out and be super slow. And then push through across the white line. And that's how to get through the course. Now, let's do a couple runs and I'll show you how to do it for real. Here we go. So get around the cones, up to second, up to third, fourth, flick in, boom. Flicking in as late as possible. Touch those rumble strips. I would be at a big deficit there. Oopsie daisies. So that was a pretty bad run. I'm sure you can agree with me that was not very good. Like a lot of drift tracks, the first corner is what's gonna matter the most. If you don't have a first corner that's good or a good initiation, well, the rest of the run will probably be bad. Get through the cones. Second, third, fourth. Flick in. Here we go. We got a lot more momentum now. Come on. Fudge nuggets. Alright, that mess up was purely skill issue. Let's do that again. It takes a while to learn a course. And in these series, I used to just, you know, get a perfect run and be done with it. But I kind of want to show what it takes to get a good run. Because not everybody can just do it well the first time. Especially me. So, get through the cones. Up, up, up. We're going to transition here and initiate. Oh yeah, that was good. Alright, good trajectory. Little clutch kick to get out. Transition under the bridge. Oh yeah, we're good here. Good momentum. We're up to 57 miles an hour through the judge's wall. Get through here. A little wide through that inner clip. That was a lot better of a run. As you saw there, I was using a lot more momentum, which is what you want to do. You want to use the clutch, the brake, to get the car up in the RPMs to move yourself more through the corner. We're going to do one more run. That was pretty solid, but I want to do one more. Fourth. Transition in. Keep it up in the RPMs. A little bit of left foot brake, a little bit of clutch, left foot, clutch. Out there. Boom. Oh yeah, bud. It's going to be good. A little slower than before, but it's okay. Downshift there. Transition over. A little inside, but getting to this clip better. Not too shabby whatsoever. So, as you now know, it takes a lot of momentum with how I tune this car at this course. And again, it makes it look very smooth, very fast, which is what we want at this course. And with that, let's take it to future me to showcase a tandem run that's gonna be epic. Thanks, Past Brandon. So here we are following a VDC 4.0 F22 in front of us. So coming off the line, I like to give a little bit of space before we transition and find that pocket. Once we find it, you want to surge up onto the door just behind that front wheel. Make sure you don't slam into the wall if you're too far back. Very much able to do that. And then here, give some room in transition, right? Plenty of opportunity here. There's two transitions, right? Both of those are a great opportunity to slam into the person in front of you. Here, make sure you're a little farther forward. I like to aim for that front wheel. And again, here, super easy to take out the dude in front of you. Give some room in transition, and then make sure coming into the decel you don't slam into him. Here, didn't have enough angle, nearly did, but I didn't, so that's good. So get back on throttle, stay up near that wheel, and that's it. Thanks, future me. And with that, I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe for more sim racing content. I promise you, I'm gonna be more consistent. I need to be more consistent. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed. If you're looking for any new sim racing gear, you know, it's spring, tax season has finally ended. You may begin that fat return. Going over to balanceracing.com, we got products, bundles, turnkeys. That means everything, PC monitor included, built, delivered to your house. We got it at balanceracing.com. And again, I hope you found this video valuable. I hope you got some insight from it. I really hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.